Hello my friends, this is Black Captain 8, and in today's video we're going to get into territories. Hello my friends. Live long and prosper. So probably the first thing we should discuss about territories is where they are. If you zoom out on your map and go way down to the bottom left, this is your origin sector, also known as territory space. So who can get down here to territory space? Well, the good thing is that anybody with a warp, I believe it is of 20 or higher, should be able to get out to your origin sector territory space. Now one thing you want to keep in mind is that this functions like deep space. So unless you own the territory like we own this here, we can go view the system because we own it. If you do not have a ship, a base, or some sort of, hey look, we got a visitor in our territory. If you don't have some sort of presence in that territory, like for instance here, load up, we can't view this system. We cannot see this without some sort of ship there. So that's why when you see something like wherever our visitor is here in territory space, usually that is a cause for concern. You'll want to go do something about it because you can still be hit over protected cargo while you're mining out here in your territory. Another thing worth mentioning is that once you do own territory, like we own this here, you can actually move your base to one of these planets in your territory. So we can relocate base. Now, if you do relocate your base to your territory, there's a couple things to notice. You are a little safer from raids because other people cannot move their bases into your territory. But if you were to lose your territory, you cannot shield until you relocate your base. Your shield is gone, you cannot put it back up, so you are a sitting duck. Especially if somebody else just took over that territory, you probably will get raided pretty quickly if you aren't paying attention. So how do you acquire territory? Well, you'll have to initiate a takeover on a piece of territory in order to attempt to take control of that space for a little while. Once you get it, you see there's a cooldown here for the next takeover. It will continue to have takeovers even after you have it. The difference will be that while you own it, you automatically get involved in the next takeover. You don't have to pay. Like if you go here for join takeover, it'll tell you what materials you need in order to join that takeover. So this is 1-star refined Isogen. You have to have 450k. We have 678k. We're a little light right now. That's what you need to initiate the takeover. It has to be active, which means this timer has to be 2 days, 17 hours from now. Once this takeover has started, then one of your commodores or your admiral can actually go in here and click join takeover. It has to have that ongoing takeover. And if this is your first piece of territory space out here, it's got to be one of these that has the one of these little symbols, 1 star, tier 1. After that, you have to be connected via warp path to whatever space you're going to go for. So keep that in mind. That's why your commodores and your admiral really need to work together and have some sort of strategy before you come out here, because you could end up burning through a lot of resources and get nothing for it if you're not paying attention. That's all well and good and fine, but you have figured out your strategy, you have stocked up on Isogen, you're ready to go. How do you take over an actual piece of territory? Well, once that territory is in a full takeover, like we have discussed, there are rules. You can click in here and actually look at them, but the gist of it is that it is more about the volume of ships that you have in the zone, and if they're on a capture node, than it is about the strength of those ships. So this video is not going to cover the tactics and the crews that you can use for that. I'll do another one specifically on tactics, crews, different strategies to defend or take over another territory. But the gist of it is every ship counts. If your alliance is doing a takeover, get ships there as quickly as you can. The last third of a takeover is your overdrive, where your points are triple. So even if you can't get there as soon as it starts, getting there before it ends is extremely important. You want to make sure that you are have your ships on capture nodes. They're worth 3 times as many points. They're worth 3 points per minute. Any other ship that's in the zone is worth 1 point per minute. And your alliance will accrue points throughout the entirety of the takeover. If somebody else is trying to contest that takeover, they will be doing the same thing. So that's where some PvP comes into play, but there are some other ways that you can win without PvP if that happens, and we'll discuss those in the upcoming territories, crews, and tactics video. Okay, so how do you get that 1-star Isogen to start with? Well, once you have territory, then some of these spaces here will have the 1-star Isogen, like this one here has for us. But until then, there are several other places that you can go to get it. There's this sector here that's actually part of the tutorial that nobody can own. It has 1-star Isogen there. There's also these 3 areas in whatever you want to call this neutral space. that have it as well. And this place here is not affected by the deep space. You can actually go peek in on that right now. It's not actually in territories. So you can see if anybody's in here getting Isogen and hunt them OPC like you normally would. The last space that you can find Isogen pretty easily is actually up here in your rogue space, this purple space. You'll see this 1-star Isogen. So you have to get this first and go refine it. All of your Isogen, you'll have 1-star, 2-star, 3-star Isogen. You'll want to go into your refinery. You'll scroll to territory. You've got your 1-star Isogen here. This actually scales these chests, scale based off of your ops level. So now when I refine this, you'll get this progenitor alloy. So if you'll notice, when we did 1-star Isogen, we only got the 1-star refined Isogen and this isoemulsion. When we do our 2-star, we get this fancy little hexagon shaped thing here, which is called progenitor alloy. So this is extremely important to your conquest as a whole. And you also get, of course, 2-star refined Isogen for that, more isoemulsion, and then you also get the alloy from the 3-star. So let's go ahead and refine all that right now. It's super important to coordinate with your leadership of your alliance on what you are trying to go for. So if you haven't taken over territory, like grade 3 territory yet, then almost guaranteed you're going to need to be pushing for these progenitor alloys into progenitor cores. So you'll take those, you come in here, and you'll turn these into cores, which you need to initiate the takeovers of a higher level. Once you have them, then you're going to want to coordinate with your leadership to make sure that you are getting the emitters, diodes, and reactors that you need to activate services. I just realized I never told you at what ops level you can start refining that Isogen. As soon as you hit ops 25, you can go to your refinery and start refining that 1-star, 2-star, and 3-star Isogen to be a team player and help out your alliance. Back to our regularly scheduled programming now. Services, what are those? Well, I'm glad you asked, my internet friends. So the materials that you can mine, the resources that you get for your territory are only one piece of that. If that was all that there was, then maybe not. But what really sets your territories apart, and why there are some that are extremely lucrative to get, are that you get these services. Now, for instance, you can get ore mining enhancer. We get from one of ours plus 40% base ore mining rate for all ships. Everybody in the alliance gets plus 40% to their ore mining if we had the 975,000 1-star Isogen, of course, refined Isogen in order to start that. But you don't want to do that when your next takeover is coming up. Really, as soon as you've successfully defended or taken over that territory for the first time is the best time to activate a service. You'll get the most bang for your buck out of it. And another big thing to really focus on here is like this advanced Surax generator. These are particles. Particles are extremely important for your research that you can do in the territory tree. And that's why certain strategies will focus on maybe straight PvP, an ISS jellyfish constructor. Like there's an alliance near us that actually has the ISS jellyfish constructor. You can't start your jellyfish, build your jellyfish, or whatever, your level 39 ISS jellyfish without having access to the blueprints, which you can get via the service on only a handful, really very few, of the territories. So those are very lucrative. If you're on a new server, those are some things that you want to go for pretty quickly, and you're also going to want to try to spread out and get as many of the different types of particles as possible, or take a look at your PvP, PvE viability, whatever you push. So the good news is that no matter what level you are, you can only, or guild level, alliance level you can only have up to 5 pieces of territory. So if you see here, they got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've only got 3 so far. We can continue to expand. You can, they all have to be connected via warp paths. You'll have to give up one if you try to take a 6th one. You'll have to give up one first in order to do that, and you have to have a current takeover to do so. So what do we mean when we say that you need certain particles for different research in the territory tree? Well, if you go check your research and you go over here to territory, once you get further down this line here, you see these little icons that are in the top left corner. Those are different particles that you need in order to research these. So there's different paths that you get, depending on if you have Metreon, Surax, there's a couple other particles. I don't have my list in front of me. And you also get prime particles if you have those grade 3 territories. You have access to those prime particles as well, which you need to get your super awesome game-changing research as well, which we also don't have access to. And once I do, I'll probably show them off to you. So your alliance has taken over a territory, you've got a particular particle that you have access to, they have activated the service to get it, where do you go to get it? So once that has happened, you're going to want to go to either Alliance, however you get to your store, go to your store. And then once you're in there, you're going to want to go to territory, and then you can scroll, and it will be between your gold frame territory capture frame that you have here, as well as your parse deal. It'll be right here in the middle. Once that's activated, we don't have any activated right now, but you can come in here and buy them. They're fairly cheap, but you're going to want to continuously buy them so that you can stock up, because you may lose your territory, or you may need to make sure everybody gets enough of them and then let go of a territory to move somewhere else to get the territories that are in the new demand. One final thing I did want to touch on, though, in this video in particular, is the length of your territory takeovers. It's well and good and fine that you get that many points per minute and that you need to be participating in them when they come up, but just so that you know how much time it's going to take you, and yes, you should send all your ships if you have them available. Coordinate with your alliance on which zone you need to send it to. But when you first go to a 1-star territory, grade 1 territory, it's going to be 30 minutes for the takeover. The last 10 minutes are going to be the overdrive. When you do a 2-star territory, it's going to go up 15 minutes. You're going to go to 45 minutes. The last 15 minutes are going to be your overdrive. And then when you go to a grade 3 territory, I believe it's an hour. We haven't done one of those yet. I could look it up, but following the pattern, it's going to be an hour, and your last 20 minutes are going to be overdrive. Those are extremely important. Make sure that you are allocating time properly and you're giving people enough time to prepare if you're a officer in your alliance. Make sure you're letting people know, hey, this is coming up. Hey, this is coming up. Hey, don't forget tomorrow we have one of these. Because it's very easy to forget this. And you can send your ships way ahead of time. Somebody might go blow them up if they're going to try to contest your territory. But helps to have your ships in that zone to play your part and help your alliance meet their goals. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next video. Live long and prosper, friends. Hey, we hope you liked the video. Like, comment, subscribe, all the usual jazz helps us grow the channel. But we do have a direct method to support the channel down below in the PayPal description. But all the indirect methods are perfectly fine for us. Share it with other people you think might get some value out of it, help them grow, those alliance mates, server mates that you care for, and your real life friends, so maybe they'll come join us in this awesome game that we all love. Thank you very much for being here. We really appreciate it. Live long and prosper, and we'll catch you next time.